All right, so in the last video on the shop update, we was talking about door gaps and things like that. So on this video, I want to focus on talking about proper masking and the way I recommend doing two-tone paint jobs and why you can really screw up if you do it the quote-unquote probably better way. So here we go. And I'm also going to show you a great example, apples to apples comparison of why you don't paint cars in pieces and why especially you don't do it in pieces months and months apart. So here we go. First of all, we want to talk about taping. This car has been an absolute nightmare to tape off. I would say probably the worst tape job I've ever encountered. These Tri-5 Chevys are not fun to tape in here. There's not a lot of room in there. The Monte Carlos and stuff is hard enough. These Tri-5s, the way they're designed, you have got to do a good job taping or you are going to have a mess. So, just kind of running you around, but this will apply on all cars that's going to be painted together. You want to have a good tape line right on that edge, and then you kind of look at it, and sometimes I'm not happy with it. I'll go back and roll another piece in there to get it even closer to the edge. But this car had a lot of chrome shiny under the hood. Had to seal everything up. It's okay to use towels and stuff and sheets. Helps catch the overspray. You even want to cover up your emblem holes because there's shiny paint behind here. You could get overspray all over it real fast if you don't. So, you know, proper tape job, and then the roof and this has already been painted. This hasn't been cut and buffed yet, so, you know, a little mist on this is not going to be the end of the world. But here is what I do when I'm doing a two-tone car. This is painted and cleared. This was painted with no tape. That way it just... And then you smooth and go back and re-sand and feather everything out and get it ready for the second color. Now, the paint line is about, there was no paint line here. You could also tape and already have a hard edge, but this way there'll only be one hard edge here. But doing it this way, I've seen a lot of cars done, they'll paint the color and then they'll go back and they'll untape, and then they'll mask off the base coat, and then they'll paint more base coat, and then they'll untape it and clear to avoid having a harder edge under the chrome. Well, what does it matter when it's covered up in chrome? But here's the other thing. If you get any bit of this color on the base or this color on this color, you are screwed. You're redoing it. This way, if you get any of this on this, you just sand it off and buff it. It's done. Don't cut and buff before you do this. There's no point. Just wait. But this is the way I do my two-tones. Haven't done a whole lot of two-tones, but this is the way I do it. Again, I feel like this is the best way to do it. And that's why, because you basically, the clear coat is a safety net over the other color. So what else we need to cover? All right, we talk about proper masking and how many hours it really takes to mask a car off for paint. And this is a biggie. I haven't really had a chance to show this apples to apples comparison. All right, this was painted just a few days ago out of the same paint can, the same color underneath. This was painted almost a year ago. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I'm going to try to turn the light on here. But you can see the pearl. And then you can see that. You can clearly see that this, especially when I have the light correct, is a lighter shade of orange than this. And why is that? Well, I'm not entirely sure. there's a lot of science that goes into this. But one of the things is I was worried. I'm like, well, did I use the same color underneath? And I looked at my primers that I knowed was under here, and this is what was under here, this color. And then I looked at the primer that I had, and I'm like, well, if anything, it should have turned out a shade darker. That wasn't the case. That was darker. So, I said all that to say this. That's why I'm redoing this. This here was painted a year ago. I'm pretty confident that, well, I know it's not far enough off to where under the hood, door jambs you're gonna ever notice it. But if that color was sitting beside each other out here, it would stick out like a royal sore thumb. If there's a shadow on it, door jamb, trunk jamb, hood up, no harm, no foul. Even under here where the inner fenders lay right against the fender, you can't even tell it. I can tell it a little bit, but most people can't to the untrained eye. They're not looking for it. But if you've got this laying right here against this, or this against this, that would stick out like a sore thumb. So that is why under most restoration, what I consider myself doing here in my shop is I do high-end driver restorations. Think about the nicest car you see at the local cruise in, but they could also drive that car on the power tour. That's what I try to stick to. I stay away from the trailer queens and the gotta be, and you can't make it too nice because it didn't come that way. Nah, trying to stay away from that type of stuff because I don't like dumbing myself down to do a worse job just to make it look factory, and I don't like what I do is make the outside of the car look beautiful, where underneath it can be drove and all the paint matches. There's a Tri-5 Chevy here locally. I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to mention who built it because the work is phenomenal. But the doors do not match the fenders or the quarter panels. And when the sun is shining right on it, it's a pretty obvious difference. And someone who does restorations can pick up on that. So anyway, again, that was a big difference. A year, different temperature, different humidity, different, same paint gun actually, same tip. But there's a lot that can go in to why this was a different color than that. So again, you can do it the way you want. There's a lot of experienced people out there who could paint this car in pieces and have everything the same level on the same day and get it all matched, and they can put it all back together without scratching it or chipping something. Hey, knock y'allselves out. Y'all have my utmost respect. But I'm not going to do it because it's just not worth getting even, and painting the direction, flat versus vertical. If you do decide to tackle a car in pieces, you make sure that that door is sitting up just like it would on the car. You make sure that hood is laying flat just like it would be on the car. I've painted hoods and trunks off of cars before to get a little better, cleaner job. And then I ended up messing my paint job up on the top of my fenders, and I said, I ain't doing that no more. So be cautious. Again, high-end driver. The level that I take my work to, and why is there a cat in my shop? The level I take my work to is about as high as you can go without it being just too much. Most of y'all out there, that's what y'all are shooting for. You're building cars you can drive. You're not building cars to take to the indoor car show and try to win the Riddler. So that being said, thanks for watching. Hope this helps. Covered a few things here. We'll see y'all next time. Restoration inquiry information will be in the video description. Thanks for watching.